Yes, sir, ski. Body language episode 3. When the roots are deep, there is no reason to fear the wind. Yeah, I wanted to start this off with an African proverb right there. Let that sink in. Think about that. Think about what does that mean to you? What message do you think they were trying to get across with that? I'm going to let you know what I think. I think this is the perfect time to explain to y'all why I hold the sword in every single podcast. I know y'all be seeing the clips randomly pop up on your phone. You know how the algorithms work. And y'all be like, yo, why the fuck is this nigga holding a katana? Look, it's not real. It's not real. They call me Kill, but I kill him with kindness. So I'm going to tell y'all what made me first think of the idea of getting the sword. I always had the sword since I was a rapper. My rap name is Kill Body. I got it from Kill Bill. My whole philosophy is like similar to a martial artist or a samurai where you only want to fight to defend yourself. So I used to do Muay Thai. I learned how to fight. Like I trained and was disciplined in the art of martial arts, Muay Thai. I did it for a year. And I already kind of knew this because I grew up listening to like Wu-Tang and just shit like watching Kung Fu movies that my father used to introduce to me. And I always loved that concept of only fighting for on defense, because anybody that truly does know how to fight knows what comes with it. You don't always win. Even if you beat the other person, you don't always feel the greatest. Yeah, so I'm gonna give y'all the thing that inspired me to pick the sword up. That proverb was not the only thing. So I want to say back in 2015, 16, something like that, I was looking for a book to read. And I listen to audiobooks and I read physical books. Sometimes I'll just grab the physical, read it that way. My last job, I was driving a lot, so I fell in love with audiobooks as well. No matter how I can consume the information, I'm going to find a way. So I do both. I know some people be like, reading the book is how you retain the info. No, whatever works for you. Whatever works for you to absorb the information, do it that way. That's the best way. It ain't no right or wrong way. Now, there was a book by Steven Pressfield, and it was called The Art of War. And back then I didn't get this book. I don't think I bought it, but I remember how I consumed it. This is a lesson right here in itself. The Art of War by Steven Pressfield. I just listened to it on YouTube. And it's probably the most influential book that I've read. It is instilled with me with so many lessons that I still live by to this day. And in this book, he's explaining why, or that a battle between an artist and his work, or specifically a writer and his work. And I can relate to that because I write a lot of rap music. So what he was saying is there's this force or this energy that blocks you or stops you or gets in your way as an obstacle to getting things done. And specifically for the writer, it was sitting down and writing, procrastinating. You have all these ideas, you have inspiration, and then when you sit down, you get that writer's block, or you just don't feel up to attempting or exercising your craft, practicing your discipline. You don't feel up to it. And in this book, he gave that entity that is blocking you, that energy that everybody knows and feels, that energy of procrastination. You know when you got to get something done and it's the most important thing you need to do. All of the other shit don't matter. The dishes can wait. The taking out the trash can wait. Going on YouTube and watching your other favorite YouTuber can wait. You know that you need to get your homework done or make a YouTube video or reach out to that guy that had a business opportunity for you. He wants you to go perform at his show, whatever it is. Procrastination holds you back. Notice how procrastination does not hold you back from doing things that are a detriment to you, doing things that's going to leave you in a deficit. So that's what Stephen Pressfield was doing in this book, The Art of War. He was letting you know that there is a force that's stopping you from doing the things that you know you need to do. And you got to go to war. That's why I got the sword. The sword reminds me of discipline. It reminds me every time I feel that procrastination, that's when you need to take that first step. You got to go right there in that moment. As soon as you feel like, oh, I don't feel like doing this, do it. Just do it. Cut all distractions. Get all the people from around you that are going to keep you away from completing the task. Just do it right there. And I love that concept. I still live with it to this day. It inspired me to hold the sword, to remind myself to just do it. It don't matter if it's perfect. It don't matter if it doesn't come out the way that you exactly wanted it or pictured it in your head. Just get it done. And you're going to get better at getting things done. That's all it is. So there are other reasons that I hold the sword as well. Let me go back to the African proverb again, which was the tree that sticks to its roots, I believe, doesn't fear the wind. Every time I have an episode on my podcast, I hold the sword, because it's like, all right, I know I can be influenced just like anybody else. This sword is the deep roots of the tree. It reminds me to speak with integrity. It reminds me that I can be influenced just like anybody else. If I hang around dumb niggas, if I hang around niggas that don't got no goals, that's okay with where they at, that's complaining all the time, I'm gonna become the next nigga just like that. It is what it is. That's why I hold the sword. The sword reminds me to at least put my personal thoughts and views, beliefs, and biases up against someone else's opinion. If their opinion or the facts or the point of view that they're coming from is valid, I'm going to analyze it. I'm going to ask more questions, and I'm going to see if I adopt it into my life. I'm not saying my mind is unchangeable, but I'm not going to forget where I came from. You don't want to just be the wind that's just blowing and going with the flow. You want to create your own flow. That doesn't mean that you don't listen to nobody else. That doesn't mean that you don't open your ears and go, maybe you making a point there. You still do that, but you always challenge it up against your own values. There's a reason why you chose to value the things that you value. You're not just gonna, I forget. I'm not gonna live the way, I don't have an opinion. You need to have an opinion. Everybody's turning into robots. Everybody's turning into NPCs. They got the opinions that other people have planted in their head. They don't got no value system, no morals, no core essence of who they are. The things that they chose over and over and over again repeatedly. That's who you are. You want to be able to make that choice to go, all right, what I believe is rubbing up against what she believes, or is the total opposite view of what he believes. Let me listen. Let me actually ask them questions, because it's just how you ended up where you are with your point of view, your biases. They did the same thing. They just had different parents, different upbringing, different friends, different environment that made them feel the way that they feel. And I love that about planet Earth because we all are not the same. They trying to make us conform. They trying to make us the same. They trying to act like people aren't different. That's stupid. That's dumb. Why would we all live by the same exact code? That there will be no excitement. So you want to deep dive into people like their books. I love me a good book. I got this phone stacked up on a couple books right now. 50 Cent, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, The Simple Path to Wealth, The Psychology of Money, the I like rappers because I can relate to them. The Autobiography of Gucci Mane, The Power of Habit. But you know what I do with people? People are real life books. And when you become genuinely interested in who they are, they'll open up to you. They'll speak to you. They'll let you know exactly how they got where they are right now. And many of them have valuable information, things they know that you don't know. You want to listen to that. That's the same way that you got your values in the first place. You don't want to question where you got your values from. It's things that you were told as a child that you still believe to this day. That's what the sword does for me. Many things that I learned as a child and a teenager, a young adult, I put them up against everything that tries to influence me. Many of the things that I chose, I keep close and dear to my heart. But there's times where I go, wow, you just opened up my mind. Let me experiment with that philosophy for 30 days and see if it yields any results. You want to be able to do that. That's what the sword does for me. So I took this episode, Body Language, episode 3, to explain to y'all why I hold the sword. I know y'all probably be like, yo, this nigga's into anime, which I am. But there is a deeper meaning behind kill body. There's a deeper meaning behind why I hold the katana. It's to stick to my roots. To put my opinions up against someone else's. It's a battle of the mind. I know y'all see that I'm in shape. I know y'all see that I'm disciplined with my workout habits and my routine. But I wouldn't say I'm like the average person when it comes to why I got in shape. My youngest brother's a personal trainer and he got in shape before me. He trains other people. But what I realized is when I trained with him, I love what it did to my mind. It made me realize, oh, if I focus on one thing, when I'm jumping rope, I'm not thinking about anything else on the planet. That makes my mind tougher. It's like lifting weights for my mind. It's a double benefit working out. When you stick to that routine and you disciplined and you consistent, you see that anything that you choose to do, you can do. And many people work out because, yeah, the physical benefits, you're going to get those. But I think I'm in such tip-top shape because I love what it does for my mind. So yeah, the sword helps me battle procrastination. It reminds me of the resistance that I'm battling every day. I think I wanted to shoot this video right here, right now, waiting on Justin to get here when we're going to shoot another video, more content. Nah, I was like, I got the idea. I walked into the studio and I seen the sword and I'm like, I never explained why I hold it. I never explained why I'm in that mode ski. I never explained why I'm always laughing and hanging and just, the sword is right next to me on every single episode of the show. I sit right there. That's my seat. We have a nice little table right here where the sword is propped up. And every Sunday, I come in here, grab the sword, sit right in that spot to remind me like, yo, I'm about to have it's mental warfare right now. They're going to say things that I disagree with. Just because I disagree with them, I'm not going to get hostile and be like, that's a dumb way to think. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I still do that. But the sword reminds me, just deep dive into who they are. There's a reason why they ended up where they're at. There's a reason why they think the way that they think. And if my values are so solid and deep rooted and constantly put up against other people's iron, then why can't I put my values up against their iron? Why can't I put my sword up against their sword and see who wins the battle? Because my mind can be changed. So I'm going to end this episode saying the proverb one more time. The sword just, it's a memento for me. The things that I were taught when I was young, the things that I witnessed and gained wisdom, they're here. They're right here. And every podcast, I battle it. I put my sword to the test. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. Sometimes people come up here and say things on a podcast and I'm like, oh shit. I never thought of it that way. Time to take the sword out and go to battle. That's it. That's what the sword is for me. It's the roots in this African proverb, which I keep forgetting. The tree with the solid roots. I'm gonna fuck it up. It's not verbatim again. If you want it verbatim, go to the beginning of the video and watch it again. The tree that has a solid foundation, solid roots that's stuck into the ground and it ain't moving for 100 years, does not fear the wind. It's not afraid of putting the sword up against another sword and going, wow, I could win this battle, I could lose this battle. My values may be strong, the things that I believe in, may hold weight. They may benefit me. They may actually be a solid way of life. Or someone could have a stronger sword, a stronger opinion. They could be smarter than me in a certain department. They could have more experience than me in a different aspect in life. Maybe they've been in tons of relationships. They've been married before. And they come to me and they say, yo, your view on women in general, I could shape it a little bit. I'm going to at least be open to it. I'm not going to go, oh, nah, I fuck the most bitches in the world. Or I've dated way more girls than you, so I always have the answers. And I want to hear you out. I want to put my sword against yours. Maybe they've been in the gym longer than me. Maybe they make more money than me. Maybe they stood in the same spot that I'm standing right now. You never know. Until you take that sword, get in that mode ski, and go to battle. We out.